Welcome to the Pixel Retentive Podcast, where we unpack the messy, beautiful intersection of creativity and business with the artists, marketers, and founders shaping our culture. Hey friends, I'm Carl, founder of Epic Made, and I'm the host of the Pixel Retentive Podcast, where we share our thoughts on creativity, art, and business. Past guests include Kalika Sharma, creative director, NYU professor, Michael Prince, industrial designer, founder of Beyond Design, and Dr. Jeremy Wise, founder of Inspired Insider and co-founder of Rise 25. I'm forever grateful for the supporters of our podcast, and as always, I'm always open to more sponsors that align with our creativity. That said, Pixel Retentive is brought to you by the creative gurus at Epic Made. Epic Made is a creative studio that produces entertainment quality animation and illustration for brands that want to stand out in gaming, entertainment, and pop culture. We help companies tell stories that resonate with imaginative audiences and turn viewers into fandom. Whether your brand needs a creative strategy, an exciting trailer, or a fully produced show, or a badass motion graphics for your site, we got you covered. Visit epicmade.net and let's collaborate on your next creative campaign. All right. Sorry for all that rambling. Here we are. With us today, we have Anthony Deptula from BMP Creative. Welcome to the show, Anthony.
Hey, nice to be here.
Yeah, man. Pumped to have you. All right. So a little bit about Anthony. Anthony is the president of BMP Creative, one of Netflix's agencies of records. No big deal. And where his team produced thousands of social media videos, generating billions of views. With roots in television, film, and emerging platforms, Anthony brings a rare blend of storytelling, culture, and strategy to everything he makes, including a feature film he wrote, produced, and acted in that premiered at Sundance. That's pretty awesome. Beyond that work, Anthony is deeply invested in building creative community. From launching Tag the Magazine, which we'll talk about a little bit later, we have right here, a kids-focused publication centered on creativity and connection, to championing Midwest talent and helping brands show up with both heart and speed. Today, we're diving into creativity, relationships, and the stories that shape who we are, including how Anthony and Justin first met. And Justin is the founder of BMP Creative, and it was on the show a few episodes back. So anyhow, welcome, Anthony. Stoked to have you.
Dr. Deptula? No, it's not.
Dr. I love it.
But apologies to the doctor that didn't get his doctor promptly. So I know they fight for that. So,
well, Dr. Jeremy, he actually will quickly be like, it's just Jeremy. But he's great. He had a doctorate in chiropractic, actually, and then eventually just decided to pivot in. Now he's a really amazing marketer, and they do lots of cool stuff. So,
we should just talk about him. I don't
just talk about Jeremy. I love it. I love it. That was actually last episode. So everybody wants to go back and check that out.
There he goes.
Anyhow, cool, man. Dude, you guys do some amazing stuff over at Netflix. And I know you guys have been building that agency up for years and have done lots of really cool things. But before we get into that, before we get into Tag, I do want the audience to get to know you a little bit better. So how long have you been in the industry, and what project are you most proud of so far?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I've been in the industry since I graduated from college, 2002, and I just moved out to LA and quickly got a job at USA Network.
Cool.
Yeah, so worked in TV. So I was an assistant. I was one of the worst assistants in the world. You can ask.
I say that about my table waiting experience.
Yeah,
the worst table waiter ever.
But I made it through. I was able to learn a lot. I was really creative, and I think that's what mattered the most in that gig.
100%.
But those people are still my family. Like they're one of my first work families is what I call them.
That's really cool, man. Yeah, USA Network still produces some great stuff. We've actually done some work for them at our studio as well. Yeah, it's crazy. Small world. Cool. So what project are you most proud of out of like all the stuff you've worked on? I know it's hard to pick like one, your favorite kid sometimes, but you can mention a couple things if you want, but what comes to mind?
I really like building teams. So I think building BMP has been one of the top projects in my career. Just sort of taking it to where it was with Justin and all the folks that were previously at BMP before me, um, I always thank them because without them, I don't think we've could have gotten where we are now. And
Sure.
I think that's with any industry, with any creative project. It's sort of like this long history of how do you get to the final product or team. God, it's fluid. It's not like a normal gig. So, um, I think Goldie Blocks building that team was really great too. Goldie Blocks was a female empowerment toy company, so that was really fun. Um,
Oh,
yeah, so that was really cool. We made 700 YouTube videos for that channel. Took it from 50,000 to a million with Debbie Sterling, the CEO of that company. Um,
amazing.
yeah, and then I have a short film called The Right One about a euphonium that comes to life. So that was
What is a euphonium?
um good question. It's a form of a tuba.
Ah,
So
nice.
yeah, it's a in the tuba family. So it's
Okay.
more upright, so there's a little more character to it. So that was fun. Just really wanted to had this idea. I was doing taxes, and my tax person worked at a violin shop. Her office was in the back, like of a violin shop. And I just always thought, man, what if a kid just came in and did not want to play the violin? So, yeah, that was great. Played a lot of festivals, and I just think one of the most cinematic, uh, puppeted, a lot of motion graphics, um, so that was challenging. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, I like making things, and I guess currently, working on my kids magazine, that would probably be number one as well.
Uh,
So I have a lot of
I
number ones. I got a lot of kids, creative kids.
it's so important that we empower the next generations with creativity, especially in a time now like where the kids graduating from college are terrified. I don't know if you've talked to any of them, but I've spent some time at the universities and like they're just like, what does the world look like with all this AI stuff? And it's like creativity will always be needed, and people with ideas will always need to run the tools, and whatever the tools are just tools, right? So, getting into the weeds of that and telling them like, hey, understand these things, and then use them or don't, but know where your creativity
Yeah.
funnels and what makes your work special. So,
I saw the
but yeah,
first AI commercial I liked this weekend watching the Olympic men's hockey championship for
yeah,
gold. Yeah, I mean, like they were basically like they called it out. They're like, yeah, this whole thing's made out ice skaters, like it's made out of AI, and then it kind of went unhinged. And I was like, oh, that was like actually kind of the first use that I've seen. But then I saw a bunch of other AI ads that um, were not good. So I mean, ultimately, I think AI. I guess we're just getting right into the AI of it all. Is just going to be, I think it's going to be homogenous. There's been occasions where, um, we've built a tech company, and so we use Lovable, which is really great. And then we were on with another tech founder, and we were like, "Your website looks really good," and he's like, "Yours looks really good," and we're like, "Did you use Lovable?" And it's like, "Yeah, we use Lovable," and it looked exactly the same.
yeah,
And it just didn't. I mean, so like to me, it was like, ugh, like ick, like
yep,
it's a little bit, and it's fine. I think, um, people are just going to be spinning up more and more, and then I don't know. I think having a unique voice, having a unique style, um, um, all of that is, which has always been the winner. It's it's the thing that makes top talent.
yep.
Um, I don't know. I don't know if it's. I think it's going to just be more and more important.
I totally agree. And really, what it all boils back to always, no matter what tools you're using, is like the ideas and the strategy, right? Like, we've talked about strategy a lot on this podcast over the past, the 110th episode, by the way, which is cool. But yeah, so like, how do you guys approach that when I know you guys do a lot of volume at BMP. So like, I know you guys got the spooky cutter thing you're working on and all that sort of stuff. But like, how does this all tie into like how do you not lose, that human side and still have creativity and still make it good, but produce crazy amounts of content, And
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter what the tools are, but how do you maintain that humanity side?
I mean, I think how I approach it is I I support the team to be creative
Yeah.
outside of work, right?
Ah, yeah.
Like a job is a job and they're really great, but if they're not able to pursue their own creative projects, so I always just talk to them about their creative projects. Like how's your feature going? How's your short film going? Just got a note from one employee. It's like, thank you, your advice, and the experience I shared with them helped them with a short film and it's playing the rounds, right? I didn't have always that, boss that did that. And essentially like retaining talent and people is about, their creative souls and what they want to do and what they love. And so I don't think if you have hobbies outside of work, I don't think if you're making stuff outside of work that you're going to be creative.
Yeah.
I just
Like
feel
if you're
like
not
that.
doing it, then is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if you're not doing it yourself, first of all, if you're doing something, um, on the ground level, like your client is doing it, marketing, ads, trying to push things out, then you get to see the real problems. It's not just from like a strategist, consultant level that flies in and drops a bunch of bombs on you. Because I've had that, and it's super annoying. And it's
Of
like,
course.
as like a creative, you're like, well, I don't, what am I supposed to do? Like a flying saucer and like a bunch of pies, and they have to be like blueberry. Like it's not blueberry season. What are we doing? Like can't get the
Yeah.
blueberries. And,
Yeah.
you're like, I don't know. I got like $11,000 in my budget for this, but the CEOs or, leaders are like searching for ideas for the green pastures to sell a product or get their idea out there or grow their audience, right? So, yeah, I mean, I think you got to really stay sharp. I think writing's really important too to the process. So, I journal every day. I do the artist's way.
The
Spoiler,
hardest way, dude.
that's going to be my shout out at the end.
Oh, I know, dude.
um
I have to get her on the podcast. That's on my bucket list. So.
Oh yeah, man. Do it. And
Julia
I'll
Cameron, right? That's her name.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yep.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
But I actually work it. Most people buy the book and actually don't do anything. So I take myself on artist dates.
Same.
And so that's when I think about AI and like kids are scared. There's like 1,000 excuses to be afraid. And for my magazine, I say the um biggest hurdles for artists are parents and fear. And I kind
Yeah.
of I kind of believe that. Not my
100%.
parents. Not my parents.
Oh
They
yeah,
were
not
very
my
sweet.
parents either. Yeah, yeah. My
No, I
my
know.
whole house is covered in my dad's artwork.
I
It's on
know,
my
man.
ceiling and the walls, and we talked about that. But yeah, I think you're absolutely right, man. I think there's a level of a creative play that always needs to be encouraged, and there's a lot of that in the Artist Way. So shout out to the Artist Way again. That book comes up probably every few episodes as well, which is it's just a powerful tool, and it's 30 years old and it's still very relevant. But yeah, I do the same with my team. Like we always nurturing everyone to do their side projects. Like, hey, learn a new tool. Like, you want to go to a thing and take a course. Like, I'll pay for it. Like, let's do
Yeah.
that. Like, because it just brings all of the morale up. Because at the end of the day, client work is client work, and we're gonna put our best creativity
Yeah.
in it. But somebody else gets to determine whether or not like this idea is gonna fly or whatever. And like when you remove that out of the way, you get to just be creative for creative sake. It's really empowering. It fills your cup and it allows you to just like keep that creative muscle flexing, if you will. Whereas
We
sometimes it's doing
care. I
nothing but
mean,
client work is exhausting. So
I think
yeah,
you have to care, when you're working with clients. Like I really care. Like
sure.
the whole team cares, but when all that caring is going into the client bucket and not your personal bucket, then that's when you get burnt out,
Yep.
so
It's depleting. I didn't, I built this business for the past 20 years. And like I got to a point, I'd say around like 2016 or so, because I started this in '06. I just wasn't doing creative at all. Like I have
mm,
artists that work for me. I have a whole team. Like I'm running
yeah,
the
I
business,
get it.
doing sales, trying to figure all the other shit out. I had no idea what I was doing. They didn't teach you any of this in art school, right? Like, so
Yeah.
it's like just winging it. But I hadn't done any art in years and years. And then when my dad died, I started like trying to like find some peace with that. And I just took some of his old art and just started drawing on top of it, like made a copy of it. And that sort of like reignited something in me. And then, fast forward to, 2022, I started doing the live stream every Wednesday night and I make art all the time now. And it was just like something in me came back alive and it just kept refilling my cup and just making sure that I kept it light and fun, because a few times I tried to pivot it to like, oh, how do I monetize this and make more money and get a
Yeah.
huge following, become a famous artist, and like it immediately started stressing me out. So I had to like take a beat and like recalibrate. And I'm actually like I stopped for like 4 months, 3 months, and I'm relaunching on Wednesday, and I'm super pumped.
Congrats.
So
That's awesome.
yeah. So
I mean, that's how
yeah,
I entered at BMP Creative, right? Um I took a general. I was trying to shoot a spot in Chicago and met Justin, and we were like we hit it off, and it was a great call. And he was like, I don't live in Chicago. And I was like, damn it. I was like, I'm not going to be able to shoot this with you, I guess. But then what else? I said, what else are you working on? I'm just curious. And then he started bringing up Mom and Dad's Nipple Factory. Um, since we're talking about our dads and how much we love them and how much we miss them,
yeah.
my dad had breast cancer, and that's how I really got into media. And
Oh
it's rare
wow.
for men, and he survived for a while, right? But I I was an art kid. I was a theater kid. I went to Ohio University. Shout out Bobcats. And I didn't, I started a sketch troupe. Then the theater department got pissed at me because we were getting more, you know, um, attendance to our shitty sketch show than their shows. And they're like, you're not allowed to act. And I'm like, well, bullshit. I'm changing my major. And then I went to art. And then art was like, I love that. And, was didn't really have the best. We had like one art class at my Catholic high school. And so I was like taking all these art classes and then panicked. They're like, do you want to make your, major painting or sculpting? I'm like, painting? This is terrible. Like, I can't, how can I make a living painting?
Right.
I'm like, and what is sculpting? Now I didn't know about product design and like,
Right.
all sorts of different things, right? And I think that's then I switched to social work. Then I switched to pre-law. I was like, I got heart, and I was like, now I got to make money. And then I switched to photography and then graphic design. And so I was kind of bopping around. And I worked at a theater the whole time and was doing sketch comedy the whole time. So I worked at a 2,000 seat theater. I was assistant technical director. I met Maya Angelou, Michael Moore, Nas. Like that was my education in college. I think I went to class sometimes. But I was
I
like
love it.
running a team and putting on shows, Rent and Stomp, and it was really cool. And at some point I was like, I think with all these different majors, I think I want to make movies, right? And there was this guy, Roger Good. I'm gonna name him out. Fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
So he was a dick. He was not good to me. He was like, you don't have the filmmaking, you can't do this. Like, and he denied me from the media school.
Oh,
Um, and then there was this guy, Frederick Lewis, new teacher from the East Coast, super cool. And I said, dude, I just want to make a documentary about my dad who had breast cancer. It's really important to me. And he was like,
yeah.
dude, come on in. And he got me in the program, you
Oh,
know?
wow.
And
Shout out.
then,
Yeah, that guy's amazing.
so like, dude, Frederick like saved my life in a big way because one gatekeeper was like, no, you know, and
Yeah.
and to me, when I met Justin, it was like full circle years later after having produced One Too Many Mornings. I went to Sundance, having produced a bunch of shorts that have played festivals all across the world. Um, Having a Vimeo staff pick and short of the week, right? Like he was like, dude, I'm working on a documentary about breast cancer. And I go, dude, send me, like, what do you got? Send it to me. Send it to me. Send me the next scene. And then I helped, came on board and helped finish that movie. Mayan Bialik became an executive producer. And, his mom and dad have helped, 3,000 breast cancer survivors creating prosthetic nipples, right? And like him and I have a great partnership, and we have a company together, and we've built this thing for Netflix, right? It started with my wanting to make something for my dad,
Yeah, that's beautiful.
you
And so
know?
that sort of ties into full circle, right? Like when I first started this, I just didn't want a job and I hated corporate America. And I had like like a really great tech job, but Fortune 100 company, hated it, was miserable every day. And like, I kept looking for like the path, like somebody to show me like, oh, well, how do you do this? Like, how do
Mm-hmm.
you go on this journey and be successful? And there really isn't a path. Everybody's story is different. And the one big thing is to take calculated risk and to be very authentic and like put your passion into the work. And that's the only
Yeah.
things I can find through lines on everybody's story. It's always different. It's always a winding journey of mishaps and random synergies and
Oh yeah.
serendipitous things. And I was listening to Debbie Millman talking, and she did a speech the other day at my university, Old Dominion, and she just like literally the first she's like, this is the first 20 years of my career. So like, 18 to like 40s. She's like, this thing happened and then they fired me. This thing happened. They rejected me. This thing happened. And then I went here and they failed. And this failed. And that failed. And it was just like failure, 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 failure. And she's like, I didn't really get anywhere until I was in my 40s. Like, and I was just
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I needed to hear this. It's like,
Yeah. Maybe
it's,
I
yeah.
look
So,
forward to my 40s. It's going to be a good time.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
No, dude, the first night I moved to LA, I went to a party where I met my boss, and it was a card party. It was like Go Fish. I met the head of casting for Warner Brothers. He's still there. All these people, man. And I just because my cousin wouldn't, she was subletting and her subleaser whatever. So I was like, oh, I gotta figure something out.
yep. You,
But
you
dude,
just never know where you're going to randomly meet the next
yeah.
person that's going to open that door for you. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so for me it's yeah, it's my religion is synchronicity, and like I have to really follow it. And Disney was probably one of the toughest jobs I've ever had. Um
I'm sure.
I know someone that I worked at Disney, and I know someone who calls people and tells them, if they're interviewing, to not work there. I don't go that far, but it's corporate, you know what I mean? And I think
Oh
you just
yeah.
have to, as the layoffs are happening in the tech world right now, right? You kind of you're hitting your own destiny. You can go after work that you want to go after. And the tech folks are like that, those are like the sweet jobs, right? The cush jobs. And now they're like, well, I don't trust tech. I don't, what are they going to do? Like becoming like, like Hollywood 5 years ago when Hollywood started consolidating, right?
Yep.
So I think these kids um, are allowed to have their feelings, and as they look ahead, right? And I would, if I ran into one of them, I would say the future doesn't exist yet. So
This is true.
so break the fucking time machine, because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And most people that I know that are successful are doers, and they actually do stuff. And so theorizing, what should I do? What's the job? Hey, I'm lucky. I had my parents, my dad worked at a steel mill, my mom worked at a pharmacy as a, you know, um, technician. But they didn't go to college. They saved money for me to go to school, and they knew it was important to me. I actually took my son ice skating yesterday, and I got to ice skate with him.
Oh,
Um,
beautiful.
and it was really nice. And I was talking to my mom after, and she said, you know, skating. And I go, yeah, but you guys didn't ice skate, which was interesting to me.
Yeah.
Um, they didn't know how to ice skate, but they would take us from Steubenville, Ohio to Wheeling, West Virginia to ice skate. And they would just throw us on the rink. That throw your kid on the rink. You know what I mean? Like, get in the rink. Like, if you don't know how to do it, who cares? But thank God my parents didn't know what they were doing, and sort of like sending us to the right school and where to go and what to do. But they had the principles of try, go do it.
Yeah. That's the only way you make any progress, right? The difference. I love the quote, like the biggest difference between the beginner and the master is that the master has failed more times than the beginner's even tried, right? Like, and it's just like, just keep failing in the right direction. You'll figure it out, right? Like, you just keep seeing, oh, well, that doesn't work. So try this way, and you try that, and you do this, so I didn't know how to run a business. I didn't know anything about business. I just started it,
Yeah,
and I just made friends and asked questions and did all the wrong things 5 times. It's like, it's okay. It's been a wild
it's
and
great,
fun
man. Like,
journey.
you get to learn a lot. Like, you get to learn how to be a good leader. The only way you learn how to be a good leader is by failing as a leader, which is painful. And I've tried to sort of
Appreciating.
connect with those folks that I haven't been a good leader with in the past. But just so you know, I'm a better leader now. And I try to go slower. I try to listen more. And it's not easy, it's not easy. But, BMP Creative has been a gift, a synchronistic gift that kind of just we were able to help each other. And now, we get to make stuff and amplify, lots of titles for Netflix across their TV and features, which I'm very thankful for. And, they're a great team, and they the team that we work with, and they're kind to us, and they're one of the top companies in the world. So to see that they're creative too really helps us. That's
Yeah.
also important, is like, they want it to be good. They want to be creative. They're not just phoning it in. They're like one of the most innovative teams in the world that are creating content that is actually programming. And so yeah, it's really cool.
Amazing stuff. I saw, as you were talking about that, I just remembered the ad that you guys did for the launch of Stranger Things, the last season, and that Nat 20 like die roll. That was like, it was so cool, dude. I was like, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, we have just a great creative team, and I really, um, Justin and I say we kind of like collect people. Like, we just like collect kind of weirdos and creatives that we love. And
that's what you need to do.
yeah, so it's just, I'm very thankful to be there, and you know, keep keep running at it every day.
Well, I love it, man. You've got creativity in your blood, and your parents nurtured it from an early age, it sounds like. And you and I talked about that, and we have that in common, which is
Yeah.
a blessing because, as you know, there are a lot of people out there who think art and creativity are fun little cute things. And they're even in the Virginia economy. I went and talked to one of our legislators, and she's just like, when I
Nice.
came up here and I was talking to the legislative body, she first got elected, right? She's like, I was talking to people about the creative economy, and they're looking at me like I'm talking about like arts and crafts and crayons and
Yeah.
and it's like, what are you talking about? Like, these are professional careers. These people create culture. That everything you watch comes from creatives.
Enterprises.
Everything, like, yeah, it's like anything. It's insane. But so rolling that all the way back, like, I love that you have brought this magazine back, and I wanted to make some
Oh
time to
my
talk
God.
about
Yeah.
this because this started in 1731, and you have revitalized this, which is crazy, right? And I guess this is the first edition, and you're rebooting this. So let's talk about this Tag
Yeah.
magazine.
Yeah.
So
Magazines have been around for, a long time, and I'm just trying to bring them back, right? In a world where everything is kind of, scroll, swipe, whatever, right? I like paper, and
tactile,
I
you
like
can
I
draw on it.
like I like drawing, right? So,
Yeah, same.
I mean, and then as a marketer, I get to try different things. So, like, the on the pages on the back, I just want to shout out my community sponsors. So the 10 News, PAL, Worldwide Buddies, Trip Slip, Holderness Family, Future Innovators, right? Like these are free ads. These are free ads that they get to be in an issue. And then all they have to do is send out, an email, a newsletter, about the magazine, right? And so people are like, "Oh my God, like how did you that's genius." And I'm like, honestly, like I was freaked out. I was like, how am I going to pay for this? I got to charge like $5,000. I got to sell an ad. But instead I went to community and I was like, all right, I'm just going to give them away for free. And then Holder and his family, which is like one of the, OG top YouTube creators in the world, they were like, yeah, let's do it. They put a game in there, as a local STEM school, put an ad in, right? Like, and now I'm creating community.
Yeah.
And so, with a magazine that is basically an interactive paper magazine where kids fill out prompts and become the published artists or writers. Because I was kind of the magazines out there for kids. There's some great ones in the UK are not really engaging. So when YouTube lost their comments for kids, it was safe, but I think they lost their youth voice. I think they lost their ability to tell creators what they like. Right? I think there's still ways, but that for this, the magazine, that's why I came up with this idea. And I had a friend along the way who really, she encouraged me. And, I ended up, printing a magazine on a newspaper press in Michigan, like 20 minutes from my house, which is crazy.
It's cool, man. I love how like it's just there's like cool prompts and it's like talking through a thing. It's like, all right, now you understand this thing, kid. You do your version right here. Here's the spot. Like, and it's such a cool like you did it great. Like it's really like the bottom, like the foundational parts of like, hey, just remove the fear, remove the confusion. You don't need, but we're giving you some inspiration, some clear direction. Put the pen on the paper, like just do some cool stuff. And if you like it, send it to us. We'll put it in a magazine. Like the whole thing, I think, is really cool, and I really hope to see this proliferate. I think you've got some great ideas. And my friend, Lonnie, a shout out, helps me run all my stuff over here. She's my executive assistant, but she gave one to her daughter, and her daughter's like, "Oh, this is cool!" Like took it from her, and it's like it's all drawn all over, and like she's all in it, like using it. And it's like she's
I
11 or
know.
something. I think
I haven't
so.
had a kid not like it yet, which is like kind of
Right.
shocking. And there was a
Yeah.
famous kid that liked it, and their mom, who I'm like friends with, was like, "Oh, I don't know. She's like famous now." I'm like, "Just she's gonna draw. Don't worry. Kids like
Don't
drawing.
worry.
I don't care
Yeah.
how famous they are."
Every kid's
Um,
creative. You've met one that isn't creative. I promise.
yeah,
Yeah.
and if they're famous, they must be creative because they're acting, and so like that to me, it's about community. It's about giving people an opportunity to have a youth voice. Hey man, it's still scary as hell, to like try to launch this. We should
Totally.
figure out like, for a single issue for like Epic Made, the coupon code will be Epic
I'm
Made
here for it.
25.
I'm here for it. I love
Epic
it.
Made 25. You can push it out on this podcast. I mean, it's hard to start something and most people won't do it. I think most people that start things um, might be in a category where um, they have trauma. It's about ego. I don't want to diagnose anybody, but like look at Elon Musk or something, right? Like
Right.
trying to prove something. Um, so I think it's hard when people are like, I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to be on this podcast, but people are asking me to be on podcasts. But the only reason I
Yeah.
said yes to you is because it's a creative podcast. It's not a
Yeah.
business podcast. Like I'm a weird freak where like I understand business and creativity. But to start something, you kind of, I'm trying to like learn how to be better at telling people. I still haven't posted really on my socials. Like
It's all
I
right.
I'm gonna like creating a LinkedIn. I'm going to start doing the posts. And it's just ironic as a person that makes thousands of videos a year with a team and previous teams, hundreds of videos a year. And now I'm again learning how to do this for my creative soul, and to push it out for these kids to hopefully get a chance to be published and get excited, because they are getting excited, which is cool. And to have paper in their hands, to be off a screen. um I met one kid and he's like, oh man, I wanted to start a newspaper at my school. I was like, man, I'm happy to tell you how I learned, because it's, RGB, CMYK. I mean,
Yep.
CMYK is a lot different because it's print.
Yep.
And the amount of times we had to switch from RGB to CMYK, and we're like, just shoot. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah. 100%.
just used to computers.
Yeah, no, I had to learn all that stuff in design school, and when I started this company, we used to do a lot of print, a lot of business cards, a lot of
Mhm.
brochures, a lot of I used to wrap vehicles and do all kinds of shit like screens, like shirts and window graphics and all of it. I did everything until we landed in like, hey, we're actually really amazing at illustration and animation. Why don't we just stay in our lane and stop trying to do everything for everybody, kind of stuff. But I love what you're doing with this tag magazine. It's super cool. I love that you're, keep doing that. It'll fill your cup. Don't stress yourself out about the how and like the making. If you can get it to just pay for itself and not
Yeah.
be a financial drain on you, which it sounds like you've got some avenues for that, then just keep leaning into it. It'll become what it'll become, and it's going to fill your cup and be amazing. And doing these podcasts, and other was like, it's definitely going to be helpful. So like, I think
Yeah.
you've
I
got the
mean,
right
I just wanted
motivation.
to draw again too,
Yeah,
like,
same.
I mean, I like drawing. I did the collage. That's like my son Hugo's hand, and he's a great dude, and he's 9, and he's been helping me. And I think there's just something where I'm exhausted by the world. I'm exhausted by um what's going on in the world, and I'm just trying to make an impact where I can have some sort of semblance of control and or just service. Like, how can I help kids in taekwondo dojo? Like, I think it's called a dojo. My
Yeah,
barber
it is.
my barber shop is a mess, and like they got this like glass case, and it's like got 10 baseball cards for sale and a hammer and like some product, and I'm like, guys, can I just make this a kid area? Like, this is
Yeah.
terrible. So like, to
This
bring design in the world, to give kids, show them design. Did you have a favorite spread that you loved?
um I don't recall the favorite spread off the top of my head. I just loved all the examples, like the left. Here's the thing on the left. Now do yours. Like,
Yep.
actually, this one hit me the most. I was like, uh, you know, you're not the boss of me. I'm in an active rebellion. I will not fill in this blank space. Ha, take that. Arms crossed in defiance. Like, oh wait, I failed at that. This is too hard. I give up. That's great. I think this would be great at restaurants for
I
kids, like
know,
for
yeah.
kids menu type of things, right? Like, I think that would be really powerful. Um, so I don't know. Anyways, it'll evolve how it's supposed
Hey,
to
I need
evolve.
help. So whenever, Carl, if you want to any help, I mean, that's the thing for me, and I think that's the thing for Tag, is like, it's a community, and I'm here to receive your help. So
I'm
what?
here. I'm here to help. Let's do it. It'll
Yeah,
be fun. Dude, I'm down to collaborate. Like whatever you want to do. I think this is really cool. Maybe there's a play where we can do some stuff with the Graphic Artists Guild, which illustration is one of our biggest demographics, and we need to breed more illustrators, and we might as well start them young, right? So how do
yeah.
this I got my gears are turning for sure, but um yeah, dude, this conversation has gone crazy fast. Like this was really fun, lots of great stuff. So, but we are coming up on time. So I do have one last question for you. Is there anyone or anything in your career that you'd like to shout out to the audience? Maybe a mentor, valuable resource, or favorite client?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've shouted out some people already, but
For sure.
I think um what else? Oh, I think I'm just gonna shout out like the unknown, um,
Okay.
and how it can be it can be exciting.
Yeah.
And if I try to cook things too much or lay it all out or have a plan, it kind of makes it boring, or I can become disappointed on the outcome. So I think just like I don't know, however we all got here, and knowing that there is an unknown to me is like pretty cool if I can lean into that. So thanks to
Yeah.
whoever created this thing.
The world, the universe, whatever
Yeah,
that
I
is.
like the
I love
universe
it.
because like ultimately, I get to like play, and I've gotten to play a lot in my career and meet really cool people and have great teams. And, I love my team now, and, the tag team. And then, my partner, she's creative, and my son. And yeah, I don't know. I think I just want to get to the point every day where I don't have to know what's happening, so I can actually get to my creativity.
Yeah. I
More
love that for
generic.
you.
I don't know
No, it's
what this doctor said. I'm sure he said something like
something
way
good.
better. Jeremy, Dr.
Yeah.
Jeremy, but like
Yep.
maybe I'll start a rivalry with him to get like that's how
You-
tag gets going.
he would love that, actually. You would love Jeremy. He's a wonderful human
No,
being
it's
and
a
a brilliant
rivalry.
marketer.
We're not. No, it's got to be like,
Yeah. It's got the rivalries, the PR side, but underneath, it's just all love.
Okay, okay, sounds good.
Yeah. I like it. Cool, man. All right. Well, wanted to give a big thank you to your business partner, boss. I don't know the relationship. I think you guys are
Yeah.
partners. Justin, superstar. What's his last name? I don't even know.
Justin Johnson, yeah,
Justin,
superstar,
superstar. Yeah. The OG.
founder and
Full,
CEO of BMP Creative. Yeah.
yeah. Justin's amazing. Good dude. So thank you for the connection there, Justin.
Of
And yeah,
course,
so we've
yeah.
been talking with Anthony Deptula. You can check him out at tagthemagazine.com. That's where you can find this wonderful magazine, kids magazine
Made
we're
out of
talking about,
paper.
made out of actual paper. If you guys remember what that was, it's a ancient technology. uh, and then BMP Creative as well. But if listeners want to follow up with you directly, where should they go?
Yeah, I think just Anthony at bmpcreative.com.
All right. Sounds good. All right, Anthony. Well, thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
being on the
man.
show. It was a blast. And we will see everyone next time. Thanks for tuning in.
All right. See you. Peace.
We really hope you enjoyed the show. Please like and subscribe to join us on our next journey through the world of art and business on the Pixel Retentive Podcast.